Are the agricultural reforms beneficial for the farmers? Hello everyone, welcome to RightViews. I am Rahul. Today we'll be discussing whether the agricultural reforms that have taken place earlier in the year are really beneficial for the farmers. Over the last 2 centuries, agriculture has become far more complex. In olden times, agricultural operations, that is farming, sowing, harvesting, were all local phenomena. They depended on local weather conditions, and the sale of agricultural produce was confined to the community itself. However, with the advent of high-tech shipping, the development of supply chain and cold chain infrastructure, the sales part of agriculture has become truly global. The production side, incidentally, remains local. Farm incomes, therefore, are as much affected by what is happening in Brazil and Argentina and Japan as much as what storm is about to hit your farm. For example, if there is a bumper sugar crop in Brazil, Indian sugar farmers will not get a good price for their sugarcane. Even for products which are highly differentiated and can be identified from their place of origin, for example, French wine or Japanese rice, you will find that the changes in the consumer preference affects the price and realizations of the farmers. Similar case will be applicable to many Indian products like Indian Alfonso, for example. This complexity is very difficult for the farmers to handle without an infrastructure support. And that is why agricultural risk management has become very important. Now this sounds complicated, but let me take you to a chart which explains what is happening to Indian farmers. Let's look at this chart which depicts the agricultural process. Here the farmer takes credit either from a bank or an agricultural cooperative, and he is able to therefore buy inputs like seeds, fertilizers and pesticides, or even hire labor. Thereafter, he undertakes the farming operations until harvest. Now, this harvest is then packed, sorted, and then taken to the mandi. At the mandi, he receives his final realization for all this effort. Out of this realization, he pays back the creditor the principal and interest, and whatever remains is his profit. Now the farmer carries a lot of risk in this process. Here we have highlighted with the yellow arrows all the kinds of risks borne by the farmer. He has to make the correct choice of crop. Suppose he plants onion and everyone plants onion, then the onion price crashes and he is not able to get his return. Or he may not get the yield. He was expecting 100 quintals, he will only get 80. Or there is a storm, or there is a pest attack, or the quality of the land is not particularly suited for the kind of crop he has chosen. Then once the harvest is ready, he has to undertake packaging, he has to make sure that it's the right quality, and then he has to bear the cost of wastage and also the transportation cost. Apart from that, he then has to pay the legal charges for accessing the mandi in terms of the mandi taxes and the state taxes, and then he is able to get the realization. At the time of sowing, he may have expected, let's say, rupees 100 as realization from this entire exercise. By the time it is harvested and reaches the mandi, the price realization may change, and therefore he may or may not be able to pay the credit, that is the principal and the interest, and that's how he becomes indebted. Now there seems to be a lot of risk for the farmer to bear. Now that is because there is not enough institutional infrastructure to help the farmer manage or mitigate these risks. For example, crop insurance just came very recently. Agricultural extension, which is basically information about what kind of crops to plant, what kind of schedule to follow, what kind of seeds go with what kind of fertilizer, all those things are being developed and they are not fully evolved to an extent that will support the higher productivity farm produce. But there is another reason why the price realization that the farmer gets is artificially depressed. For that, let's go to the next chart. Now here we have highlighted in red arrows the three elements. The credit, that is the creditor, it's either the cooperative bank or a credit society. Then there are agents who have seeds, fertilizer, and then there are the mandi operators. Now all these things, operating a credit society or a cooperative bank, operating a shop or an establishment that gives out seeds, fertilizers, or even being a mandi operator require a large amount of capital. In many small areas, you will find that these three are being financed by the same person or they are in collusion with each other. The result is that the entire business of farming is constrained from the input side as well as at the output side, and the farmer is caught in between. And this is the reason why the farmer stays poor. The government therefore decided to have a goal for doubling farm incomes. Now this is not easy to achieve without breaking these shackles on the farming value chain. Earlier this year, the government announced 3 laws. The first, to allow the farmer to sell his produce anywhere in the country. Second, to enable contract farming. And third, to dismantle the coercive aspect of the Essential Commodities Act. Now these 3 taken together, they act on different parts of our agricultural process. Let's look at it now. So the green arrows tell you where these laws are acting. But this agricultural reform actually helps the farmer create more avenues for sale, so which is not going to be restricted to mandi. So farmer can sell to any mandi where he will be able to get the better price. He can also sell directly to the consumer, such as companies such as Pepsi Foods or Haldirams or any such corporation who is into food processing. The third is they have tried to reduce and eliminate the charges that the farmer has to pay because he's moving his produce to a different place. So all this will improve price realization for the farmer. On the other side, because Essential Commodities Act allows now for wider choice of crops, he can take different kinds of crops and store them for release into the market at a later time. All in all, they do help the farmer to mitigate these risks that we have seen. But we have a solution to how to mitigate the entire risk from this farm process. And that solution I have given in the form of Smart Agriculture Management System. It's in the form of a research paper which you can download in the link shown here. I will put a link in the description also. Go through that. That paper explains all the challenges that farmers face, what are the solutions, and a very comprehensive solution called the Smart Agriculture Management System, SAMS as I call it, is introduced there. The objective of SAMS is to bring market forces into the agricultural process. This will help farmers become more competitive, not just locally but also globally, and they will also help farmers scale up into food processing and thereafter food business itself. Now India has got a strategic advantage when it comes to food. So liberalizing this part of the market, the farmer and then food processing, is absolutely critical if we want to create high-end exports. So I urge the reformers, I urge the government and the policy makers to have a look at the Smart Agriculture Management System. It will give you more ideas and more avenues to de-risk the agriculture process and to unleash the agricultural GDP of the country, which has been growing very slowly. And India will be able to compete globally on higher value side of the agricultural trade. So in fact, there is still lot more to be done on the agricultural reform side. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe this video. Also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Parler, and also join in for our weekly podcast. The link is given below. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.